Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with Hunter Hunter. We are on episode 140 and God, we are fucking getting close to the end and I'm just kind of not ready for it, you know? I'm worried. Like, I feel like there's so much going on and there's so little time left. Like, how are we gonna get this, like, I don't know. I'm like worried that it's gonna cut off like halfway through an arc or something. I don't know, I fucking hope not, but it seems like there's so much happening. It's crazy. So yeah, last episode, Killua got out with Alluka by threatening his own mother's life, and his mother was loving it. God, the Zoldyck family's just weird. They're so crazy. Even Illumi, like at one point, was so shocked that Gon was Killua's most loved one. He was like, "No, it's me. It's fucking me." Crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, Illumi and Hisoka now have got a plan to deal with Alluka if something. If Killua doesn't agree, I guess, to making the wish himself, because otherwise it's gonna, this could end in the death of not only 10,000s of people, but also Illumi, obviously caring about himself, and of course Hisoka himself as well. So there is that. We've got a hell of a lot more rules regarding that whole thing, and we've obviously still got the election thing going on with the Zodiac 12 as well. Honestly, it's just, I'm very intrigued with the whole Alluka thing. It just feels like obviously she's been imbued with, like, she's a normal girl that at a very very early age, she was just imbued with Nen, and like this is somebody else's doing. If we ever get that information, I fucking hope we kind of do, but I don't know the ins and outs. But it's definitely intriguing me, and I'm very in at the moment. So this is really nice. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. We're just gonna get in episode 140. God, can you imagine it was episode 40? Jesus. We're going to get in episode 140 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 140. I kind of want to just go straight to that end bit, to be honest. Because Leorio, he legitimately hit Jean. Now, I feel like Jean knew it was coming. Like, he could have dodged it if he wanted to. I feel like that much is obvious. And I feel like there are reasons why he chose to take it. You see, like, while it was all happening, it's not like I'm shocked at this point. I knew obviously that, like, as soon as Leorio stood up to ask, to go ask a question, I knew it was going to be to Jean, because who else is it really going to, like, Leorio doesn't particularly care about all the other shit going on. He cares about the fact that his friend is in critical condition, and the only character there that has any relation, and it's a big relation at that, is Jean. So it's, it being Gon's dad, of course Leorio was going to ask that question. It was going to be related to Gon. But that's the thing, is like I almost, aside from the fact that Leorio literally hit him, and the fact that he can use Nen now, which is great. I mean, of course, like, time has elapsed, and whilst the Chimera Ant thing was going on, Leorio would have been training. But yeah, the punch was the only thing that I didn't see coming. But the moment Leorio was there, I kind of knew that that's how it was going to go down. Because, well, I'm not shocked at this point that Jean is that way inclined. And it's it's like a... It's not that Jean is like... I mean, I'm trying to think of it from... Because it is a very... Let me know your thoughts on this, but I almost feel like if Gon was to go down the same route as what Jean did, like, he would like, if he was, like, obviously just to go out and be a hunter and everything like that, that I almost feel like it wouldn't surprise me if Gon was exactly the same with his child. Like, I don't think it's a case of Jean being a bad dad and I'm like a bad father, and I know that, like, it can seem that way because it is very... It's a bit of an odd situation, because you're dealing with very animated characters, like characters that aren't, they don't correlate a lot to real life characters, like people in the real world that are so. I mean, I guess there are some situations in real life that you could say the same, where like it's just like it's almost like a tough love kind of thing, or it's a kind of case that like he wants to see his son's full potential, and he doesn't need, like, you know, the full potential is only going to really come out if he can do this on his own and not have me there with him, helping him along. And there may be more to it, but I just feel like it's a kind of thing with Gene, like it's strange because the fact that Gene has not been like there for him for so long, it's almost like I feel like he understands exactly what Gon wants, you know, like Gene understands, and maybe that is the case. Maybe it's like that could go hand in hand with why I feel like if Gon had a child and like just went down that same route, that he would be the same with his kid. It's almost like they have like that similar vibe. So even Gene, considering how long ago like he literally left him, I wonder if he has been keeping like tabs on him from afar, just so he knows like what he's like, and therefore because of that, that's how he's like, he understands that Gon doesn't. He doesn't want like. I think that's what it's down to, you know. I think Gene just understands what Gon wants, so therefore he doesn't do it. I think that's what it is, and I think Gene realizes that, you know, I am a father, and that generally, yeah, I probably, you know, as a father I should go see him, kind of thing. But it's like respecting the wishes almost. And I feel like the reason why he took that punch is almost like as a way of almost serving some kind of like, you know, it's like almost like asking for like repentance, or it's like taking it as punishment, as like something like, I deserve this because I don't do it this way. I like, because I don't go see him, and therefore I deserve this kind of thing. I wonder if that is the reason why. It doesn't take anything away from the fact that Leorio literally just landed a hit on Gene. Like, that's the first time like we've seen that, you know. And because Gene has been like almost like propped up as this legendary figure, that's big. The first time in the show that, you know. Now of course he hasn't been around for like in the actual show for that long. He's, you know, he's probably had like a total elapsed of like maybe an episode's worth out of, as of now, 140 episodes. So obviously he hasn't had a lot of on-screen time, but still, in the story, to have the first hit on Gene is that's something. But yeah, I remember Leorio's hit is it's nuts because I'm sure he's an emitter. I remember I picked that up from back when they were doing the whole explaining Nen, and you know, Gon and Killua were actually learning Nen, that in the beginning, like the, you know, the prequel thing where it's like, where the narrator's like, Nen, a bunch of different categories and stuff, and it would bring up like the silhouettes of characters in the categories that they had, and obviously one of them was Leorio in the emitter category, and I was like, oh, so Leorio's an emitter, that's cool. But obviously we haven't been able to see it up until this point, and that is an interesting way to use it, like a portal. I wasn't expecting. I thought he was hitting the ground, and it was traveling through the floor, and it would fire up at him. I wasn't expecting like it was used as an actual portal. That's a cool way of, like, you know, because I guess like when you think of an emitter, it is more like the guy who they were playing dodgeball with, where it's almost like throwing energy at something. But that is like the whole portal things. That's cool. That's really cool, and it's nice to see Leorio obviously stand up for his friend. You know, it's you know, of course he would be pissed off, but you know, Leorio doesn't understand the sort of like the ins and outs, and I don't think a lot of people do. And I guess obviously I think on some level I still don't. I'm just taking it as that's the way I feel about it. That Gene almost is respecting Gon's wishes because Gon doesn't want it to be that way. But I you know, I may be wrong. but you know, it doesn't take anything away from the fact that Leorio obviously cares about his friend, and the fact that he's obviously not getting an answer. The only way he's seeing it is that, you know, Gon's father isn't going to see him when he's in critical condition, which obviously will piss him off. So yeah, that's cool. So we'll go back to the beginning. Right, so yeah, if you watch the full episode, I think I was talking about it during the actual opening, but I said, can you wish Alluka free from something? Can you, like, if you if you're granted a wish, can you basically say, I mean, that's the thing though, like, what do you call it? You can't just call it something, because then, like, the wish may not be granted. Like, there may be something with the wish that has to be, like, when you are saying the wish, it has to be understood properly, I suppose. But I wonder if to what degree, like, you could actually, you know, could you wish Alluka to not request anything anymore? You know, I don't know, because you can wish her to kiss your cheek. So wishes do work on her to do something to you, you know. So it, like, the wish itself can work on her. So I wonder if it, like, so that I mean, that automatically, I mean, this was kind of almost confirmed, like, last episode, that it's not Alluka, and whatever this thing isn't her. It's just tied to her. It's like almost like another being of some sort. So I guess that's why the wishes can affect Alluka. I don't know. I feel like this is just a very hypothetical thing, and it might be almost pointless me even asking that. But I just thought it was an interesting thing. Also, I'll get this out of the way as well. So in the last episode, in the post discussion, I was talking about how I thought that, well, I thought it was interesting that Killua stalled the wish thing, right? Because he said, if in 30 minutes I'm not off the mountain, right, then kill my mother. If I am off, then you can kiss my cheek. And I thought that was stalling the wish, and the actual wish itself was whatever situation he found himself in. So because he was off the mountain, the wish was actually kiss my cheek. But surely kissing my cheek, I wouldn't attribute that into a request afterwards, like taking your pinky nail off. I mean, first of all, right, like, that's painful. That's going to be painful. And if previous episodes are to go by, the requests after that would be worse. And I think that obviously helps with, like, you know, one of the reasons obviously why Subone decided to, you know, hide, you know, like, but watch from afar kind of thing. Also, it was a thing, like, Subone was also saying that, like, just so, you know, she won't request anybody else as well. So a very, like, almost like a self-sacrifice kind of thing there, like, you know, like, I suppose she's not in any real danger as long as she stays hidden. You know, but Subone's quite of a badass in that way. Like, she never, you know, didn't even hesitate, just took it off. There you go. Not that she really had any other choice. Like, I mean, she kind of had to, you know. But yeah. So, regardless, then at some point, Subone is going to have to complete those requests, though. Like, she's going to have to go back and do 2 more, you know, at least. So yeah, I also wonder, talking about that. So, because if you complete 3, you succeed, right, and then get a wish. You can be granted a wish. But if 4 requests are unfulfilled, or is it a case of if you succeed at the first 2, but then you refuse the 3rd one, and then refuse the 4th one, then you die. Is that how it works? So like it's all relative within the 4 requests. Like it can never be more than 4 requests to one person. Either you complete 3. Either you complete 3, or like basically you have to succeed at 3 within 4 requests. If you fail to do that, then you die. It's never going to be a case of like, oh well, you succeeded at 2 and then it resets and therefore like it'll go to like 6 requests altogether. Because then it would be like you've succeeded at 2. If it was to reset, then she asks another request, you refuse. Yeah, she asks another request, you refuse, and then it's 4 again. Like I don't know if it's a reset after every succeeded request. It'll be interesting to know those ins and outs. I have a feeling it's 4 at most, and that's all it's ever going to be to one person. So you have to succeed at 3 of those, like 3 of the 4, and if you fail, then that's it, you die. As opposed to it going past that, I think anyway. I feel like that just makes more sense, I suppose. But who knows? I could be wrong. So yeah, I mean, back to the original point. Like I guess that because Killua had included almost the option of killing the mother, that had a hand in the request afterwards. Even though that never came to pass, that was still part of the wish. So I wonder then, another hypothetical. This arc is great. Like these episodes are great because it's so much like theory crafting that you can almost come up with. So my thought, what if it went the other way? So let's say that Silva decided not to open it up and let Alluka out with Killua. Let's say that the mother did die. Would the requests after that be the same? So would she say like, give me the nail off your pinky finger again? Or would they be worse? You see, the thing is that I don't know where on the scale would you put killing somebody as a wish. Like, because that to me seems like a big wish as well. You know what I mean? Like, I would say that is up there with, give me $1 million. Like saving someone's life, like bring me back, like because it may not be as much as obviously saving a life or bringing someone back, but it would be up there though. I feel like being able to just kill somebody off without any consequences whatsoever of a wish, like that's got to be worse. I feel like the request after that would be worse than taking a pinky nail finger off, right? So but I mean that's the thing. Like I wouldn't say a kiss on the cheek relates to the request being pull a pinky nail off, and if the requests after that are going to be even worse, I just feel like a kiss to the cheek isn't that much of a big deal. It's almost nothing. So I feel like in some regard, because the kill my mother if I'm not off this mountain in 30 minutes, because that was part of the wish, that it did have some hand in making the requests a bit more a bit more troublesome afterwards. But had it went the opposite way and actually the mother was actually killed, that the request would have been harder. But because that part of the wish wasn't didn't have to be done, that it was a bit more lenient than what it would have been. But still, like to pull a pinky nail thing, nah, it's not good, man. It's not good, man. So yeah, right. What else? Gun is in a really bad way. I didn't think he was that in that. Like I thought, like I knew he was on life support. I didn't know that. It looks like he's like bleeding from, and I wonder if that's obviously to do with. I mean, he's in a physical body, right? And as much as Nen can seemingly do, I still feel like to increase his. I mean, it literally changed his appearance into somebody that was older. So I imagine going back down, almost like fucked with his body. But we've never really had a good look at it. The last time we saw it was like Killua was carrying him on his back, and he looked normal except from the fact that his hair was still long. But because of that, it almost makes me think that like other parts of his physical body like almost remained malformed, and that's the reason why like there's like a lot of blood patches like all over his bed and stuff. But it looks like he's literally just like been through like it looks like he's been in a fucking like a plane crash and survived. Like he's bandaged up fully, and I didn't know he was in that much of a bad way. And like yeah, I mean like physically, of course he's like in life support, which is like almost one like the pretty much one of the worst ways he can be in. But I meant like physically. So the idea of a Nen exorcist as well, that's interesting. How one of the Nen exorcists came in and there was a black mass that was surrounding Gon, which is it's an interesting sort of thing that I wasn't even expecting. Like that almost because of this covenant or whatever. This goes back into the whole thing of I wanted to know what Nen was. Like, was it a case of something from a power from like a higher being or something? I remember asking this like way back because, I'm sure it was definitely to do with the Kurapika thing in the against the Phantom Troop when he had the whole like Sword of Law thing and all of this. You make a contract essentially. I remember saying something along the lines of, well, that would surely mean that like it's like Nen itself is almost like it's like almost like there may be like something controlling it to allow for that to happen. And with this like Nen exorcist thing, it almost seems similar. Like that brings up this whole thing again of like it's almost like he's being possessed by his own Nen. I mean, why else would it be called a Nen exorcist? You know what I mean? Like, because the covenant or whatever that Gon had on himself that was so, like, clearly, like, so... It was a massive fucking contract that he made there. Like, it was huge. I mean, he didn't really care for his life at that point, so, like, he was fine just letting it fucking all go. That it's almost like the Nen has almost, like, turned on Gon itself, but it's weird because Nen is, like, a part of you that is a part of your aura that is your own life force. For your own, like, and to describe it as your own life force almost going against yourself is almost, like, weird in a way. Like, it's a weird thing to sort of describe, but it's cool though. I like the thought of it. And I mean, even the person coming in, the Nen exorcist, like, and almost like in fear of it, makes me think that it's like this otherworldly fucking like it's like if you were to, what's the Exorcist, right? That film. Going in and seeing this like this horrible girl and like fucking like turning her head around like 360 degrees and going crazy and shit, and it's like that's a fucking demon. Like actually being afraid of something that is clearly something possessing somebody, and that's almost what that is. Now, I guess it could be a thing of because Gon is essentially in life support that he's unconscious, that his conscious is actually almost melded with his Nen, so his Nen is still like in that almost emotional state that he was when he left it all out on the fucking field against Neferpitou at that one point when he fucking, and because he's in that emotional state, like that could be what it is. So it might not be a case of like the Nen is something else that is affecting him, and it could be like him, like his own consciousness affecting the Nen around him, that causes like that immense fear, which I imagine has some similarities and like almost like it relates to when the Chimera ants and whatnot, like Neferpito, were like they had that just evil fucking ominous aura that caused Nove to to become that like fucking stressed out and panicky and everything that it affected him physically, and of course mentally as well. Like I wonder if it is something like that, because we know at this point that aura can do that. So I'm more inclined to believe that it is almost because Gon is unconscious, that his consciousness is actually in line with his Nen right now, and that's what is floating above him in that black sort of aura. Because the black aura does, it looks like what he had, when he was facing off against Neferpito, like that black fucking that aura that he had. So I feel like that's the case, but that's just me. Goto and Canary coming with, I love that. Goto's great. He has that very like sort of stern nature that I remember back when he first came up, like it was easy to sort of assume that he was like being a dick, but in reality he actually cares for like Killua and stuff like that. And but he never like shows it as raw emotion, so you never see it on his face, but just by the actions that he does do, like it's. He's a great character. And then Canary as well, which I think's really cool, because she got like a lot of character development within like the space of an episode, maybe two. I think it was primarily one episode though, right? And then I remember like when Killua and that were leaving, obviously Canary was going to stay behind because she's a butler, she's to serve the Zoldyck family, not Killua. Not just Killua. So she stayed behind, and I was like, oh shit, like she got so much fucking character development and whatnot. Like the other shows would have almost like forced her to come along with, but that wasn't the case. So it's good that she's getting back into it again. So I like that. And then we got some information on like level 4, level 5, and that kind of stuff. Level 4 is just observing the target when they've done something, like taken Alluka out. To make sure that he doesn't give anything away. Level 5 is basically taking them and capturing, bringing them back to the Zoldyck family estate, essentially. I wonder if that's as high as it goes. Normally it is with levels, like when it's level 5 is normally the top. But I wonder if it goes beyond that. Like, is there ever a level where like the Zoldyck family have to kill one of their own because of something like that could be that bad? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, Killua almost murdered his fucking. I mean, he has before, right? Like he has permanently like hurt his mother, right? That was what happened like at the very beginning of the show, like when Killua obviously left to take the Hunter exam. Isn't that why like she was bandaged up and stuff? So I don't know, and obviously he threatened his mother's life there. Like last episode, so I don't know, even killing one of your own possibly couldn't even deter, like getting to the. I don't know. I guess within like the sort of the system of like the Zoldyck family having these levels and stuff, like it's different to what Illumi, where Illumi just seems to do anything he wants anyway. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I wrote down the question as well, like how can you tell the difference between a request or not? So when Alluka comes up to you and asks for a request, like how do you know the difference? I asked that specifically after when Alluka got in front of Subone and basically asked, stop bullying my brother. I was like, well, does that count as a request? And I don't think it does. I think she specifically states the name of that person before asking for a request. So I think that's something to keep an eye on. I think that's what it is. Morel's situational awareness, I love that. I love the fact that Morel, not being given all of the information, decided to trust Killua and even call him like a trusted friend at one point, because of obviously the that kind of mission that they went through, where they were like, we're not even sure if we're going to come out of here. That one mission took him from, because I remember beforehand where Morel was giving him shit, like giving Killua shit, before It was like way like it was early on in the Chimera and arc, wasn't it? It was after Kite, after they had, like Gon and Killua had gotten out of the forest and left Kite, because Killua was struggling with Neferpito's aura at that point, right? And he was like sitting at the tree, and he was like, he'd almost lost it. And Morel came and basically like give him some shit. So it's nice to see like that progression from that point to now, where he considers him a trusted friend. That was really cool. But yeah, I mean, his situational awareness to like understand the almost like the situation at hand, where it's like, right, okay, I'm not allowed to know the ins and outs, but I trust him, so therefore I'll allow this to take place. And because of that, Goto immediately responded and was like, Liz, I like this guy. He understands the situation, so I want to talk with him from now on. And also, I think that's related to almost like Knuckle, because Knuckle has good situational awareness as well. So I wonder if he's gotten that from Morel, with Morel being his like higher up. That's cool. And then the last thing was, obviously, I mean, I asked where the fuck Kurapika was. We got a little look at him, and he's in that suit that he is in the fucking ending. And he's just sitting in a room with his scarlet eyes activated, not answering his phone. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing. What is he doing? Where is he? They said that they were going... They were just going back... Oh, fuck. Where did they say they were going? Did they say they were going to... Oh, it was so long ago. Wasn't it like literally... Would have to go back like through the Chimera and then the Greed Island arc. Did he say he was going back to the fucking the what you call it, estate, whatever the hell the name is of that family, or did they say they were going to Meteor City? Because I know the Phantom Troop went back to Meteor City. I mean, something's pissing off. Kurapika, right? Or is he just... Or maybe he's just training. But why else would he be holding his phone, though? Is he aware of Gon's condition? Because remember, the Scarlet Eyes and stuff are... It's not just rage, right, that activates them. It's when they like become like really like heavily emotional, right? So it could be a case of just a lot of emotion going through Kurapika's head. I don't know, like maybe it's a case of like, because out of the, when you're talking about the group that we have, right, Gon, Killua, Leorio, and Kurapika. Kurapika's the one that is actually like lost. Like lost some. Well, obviously, I mean, Gon has, but it's not about Gon at this point. Like, it's about Gon's in that condition. Kurapika's maybe the one not showing up because he's lost all of his clan at this point, and now it's almost like he has this new clan of his, his group of friends. If he does know the condition, then that might be the reason why he's like, he may just be struggling with that idea that Gon's in that condition. I don't know. I don't think that would stop Kurapika from going to see him, though. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to be able to determine what Kurapika is up to from just a scene of him sitting in a dark room with his scarlet eyes activated. I don't know. He's in his suit, though, so I assume he's near the family that he's working for. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, he would have to stay behind, though, right? Like, because we saw that in the election that the votes, like, we had the other employees, like Melody is there, and Basho's there as well. So like how maybe Kurapika, I don't know, like one of them has to stay behind, and maybe he's been forced to stay behind and he's not allowed to by I almost had it there. I almost had the. It's something Nade, isn't it? Their fucking family name. Oh, God, what is it, man? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's one of those things where it's just like there, but I can't get it. I want to say Tsunade, but I know that's not it. Tsunade's fucking from Naruto, isn't she? Oh, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. I'm never gonna get it. All right, whatever. I'm not even gonna sit here worrying about it. Anyway, that's all I've got. So, thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I've linked to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier for $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early. You know, I was doing Hunter x Hunter 4 episodes a week, but by the time this episode comes out on YouTube, I'm going to be finished the show anyway. So you can go over there and binge watch from now until the end of the show, which is about 8 episodes now. Or you can just wait week to week. It's not going to take that long. For 8 episodes, it's going to be out within 4 weeks anyway, and I'll be finished by that point. You know, but you can do anyway if you want. There's also $10 there for full length. That doesn't matter for this show, but for other shows you will need that. And then there are tiers where you can pay to have a certain show reacted to as well. So if you want me to react to a show, go have a look at those tiers and see what they offer. But that's all I've got, so thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.